What if I told you the most talked about number in Iraq's modern history might finally be coming true? Today, a signal has popped up that's shaking the entire financial world. Reports say the U.S. has confirmed talks about a 0.80 exchange rate for the Iraqi dinar. And that news has everyone, from investors to everyday Iraqis, buzzing. For years, people have heard promises, seen delays, and debated endless speculation. But this time, something feels different. The whispers are getting louder, and words are turning into real movement. This could be one of the biggest financial turning points Iraq has seen in decades. If it actually happens, experts say it could reshape Iraq's economy, rebuild investor confidence, and change the future for millions of Iraqi families. So stick around, because what's happening right now might be the first real step toward a new era for the dinar. Let us start by breaking down why that specific number, 0.80, is making so much noise. Right now, the dinar trades way below that mark, which makes this rumored new rate almost revolutionary. But the number isn't random. According to economic insiders, it's the result of months of quiet technical planning, global coordination, behind-the-scenes talks between Baghdad, Washington, and international financial players. This isn't just about a simple revaluation. It's about rebuilding trust. The U.S. showing public acknowledgement of a figure like this sends a strong signal. Their growing agreement that Iraq might actually be ready for deeper reform. And with Iraq pushing modernization harder than ever, it finally feels like the country's setting the stage for a realistic and well-managed currency adjustment. The dinar's story has been a roller coaster since the early 2000s. Countless investors have held on to their currency, waiting for that long-promised day when it would climb in value. Iraq's oil reserves, its trade position, its regional importance, all of it made people believe a stronger dinar was only a matter of time. But corruption, instability, and years of shaky governance kept that dream on hold. Now, in 2025, it feels like something's actually shifting. Talk of a 0.80 rate suggests that real groundwork has been laid. Behind the scenes, it looks like international institutions and Iraq's central bank are finally moving in sync. Not to flip a switch overnight, but to roll things out carefully, one measured step at a time. At the heart of all this lies one simple truth. A currency is only as strong as the trust behind it. For decades, Iraq's real problem wasn't resources, it was confidence. People kept their money hidden at home, in boxes or under mattresses, because they didn't trust banks or government systems. Economists even have a name for it, the mattress money problem. And until that changes, Iraq can't have a truly stable currency. But recently, the government's been pushing hard to rebuild that trust, urging citizens to deposit cash into banks and join a more transparent system. Every dinar sitting outside the banking system is a missing piece of the puzzle. Once people start trusting banks again, everything changes. The central bank gets visibility, economists can track liquidity, and inflation can finally be managed. That's the kind of progress international partners, especially the U.S., want to see before giving real support to a new rate. So when the U.S. starts signaling acknowledgement of a 0.80 value, it means something big. It means Iraq's internal reforms are finally showing results. But here's what a lot of people miss. Revaluing a currency isn't just about choosing a number, it's all about timing. Move too fast, and inflation spikes. Move too slow, and confidence fades. Iraq's policymakers are walking a tightrope. They know they can't just flip the rate overnight. The plan seems to be a gradual rollout. New notes, stronger banks, stable prices, all before the new rate fully kicks in. It's a huge operation, and every detail counts, from retraining bank staff to updating software systems. So why might 0.80 be the magic number? Well, it's high enough to bring back faith among Iraqis who've lost confidence in their currency, making their savings more valuable and encouraging them to use banks again. But it's also low enough to keep Iraq's exports affordable to foreign buyers. In other words, 0.80 strikes the right balance, strong enough to inspire trust, but cautious enough to protect the economy. It could even be Iraq's way of showing the world it's ready to rejoin the global financial stage with confidence and control. But let's not forget, Iraq isn't doing this alone. Big changes like this take international coordination. Banking systems, trade networks, and payment platforms around the world need to align before a shift like this can safely happen. One mismatch could cause chaos. That's why the U.S. acknowledgement matters so much. It's not just approval, it's preparation. Why it suggests that Washington and Baghdad are already syncing up timelines, systems, and protocols to make sure the transition goes smoothly when the time comes. Inside Iraq, things are moving fast. The government has been tightening its grip on money laundering, pushing anti-corruption efforts, and upgrading digital banking systems. None of this is random. It's all part of a bigger plan to prove that Iraq can handle a modern economy. For dinar holders, that's a major signal. For everyday Iraqis, it could mean cheaper imports, more goods in stores, and more spending power. A stronger dinar doesn't just change exchange rates, it changes lives. But let's be real, it's not all smooth sailing. A stronger currency can hurt exports by making them more expensive. Policymakers will have to walk a fine line between strengthening the dinar and keeping local industries competitive. And since Iraq still relies heavily on oil, they'll need to keep growing other sectors like agriculture and tech to make the growth sustainable. For global investors, though, this is a huge spark of hope. Many have believed for years that Iraq's comeback was just a matter of time, that stability would eventually unlock the dinar's true potential. Now, with real signals of reform, that belief feels stronger than ever. If the 0.80 rate becomes official, or even partially realized, it could trigger a new wave of investment into Iraq's banks, infrastructure, and energy sector. Investors who've been sitting on the sidelines might finally jump back in, seeing Iraq as a country serious about reform and ready to rise again. To really understand the stakes, look at Vietnam. Their situation's different, sure, but they faced similar problems: hidden cash, inflation, and a lack of trust in banks. Vietnam learned the hard way that gradual change beats sudden shocks every time. Iraq seems to be taking notes from that playbook, focusing on sustainable step reforms that can hold up under global pressure and set the stage for long-term growth. For the average Iraqi citizen, this could be life-changing. Imagine being able to buy more groceries with the same paycheck, or watching your savings grow in real value instead of shrinking. Stronger dinar doesn't just mean a better exchange rate. It means renewed confidence, better jobs, and real hope for the future. It's about restoring national pride and showing that Iraq can stand strong again. Behind the scenes, preparation is already underway. Banks are testing new systems, experts are running forecasts, and government officials are making sure every step avoids sudden inflation. The central bank is reportedly working with international partners to double-check reserves and set a precise timeline. Every tiny detail matters because one wrong move could ripple through global markets. That's why, while all of this sounds exciting, it's being handled with extreme precision. If this new rate really does go live in the coming months, it won't just affect Iraq, it'll echo across the region. Stable, confident dinar could spark new trade deals, attract partnerships, and boost investor faith across the Middle East. Iraq could go from a post-conflict recovery story to a global resurgence story. Still, it's important to stay realistic. The U.S. signaling a 0.80 rate doesn't mean the revaluation has already happened. It means the process is moving forward. It means the global alignment is finally becoming real. But currency reform takes time and patience. This isn't about overnight riches. It's about laying the foundation for decades of growth. Iraq's leaders, economists, and everyday people all have a role to play in making this work. And as of right now, the signs are strong. The direction is clear. Coordination is real. The possibility of a 0.80 dinar is closer than it's ever been. For a nation that's been through so much, this isn't just a financial story, it's a story of renewal. Every reform, every announcement, and every careful step forward brings Iraq closer to standing tall again. That's why everyone from Baghdad to Washington is watching closely. So what happens next? The world will be watching every move, from new note releases to international coordination updates. The journey's not over yet, but the progress is undeniable. The U.S. has sent its clearest signal yet, and Iraq seems ready to act. If all the pieces fall into place, the dream of a stronger, stable, and respected dinar might finally come true. Stay tuned, because Iraq's next chapter is being written right now, and the world's watching every page.